Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome to part 2. If you haven't listened to part 1, do go back and listen to yesterday's episode because it will make more sense. If you do that for me, then I don't have to do a big introduction every time. I can just get into the juicy details. So that's what I'm going to do today. Part 2 is something that I do in every area of my life. And this sounds rather dramatic, like, wow, oh gosh. And it just makes me sound like a bit of a geek. But it really helps my brain process what I'm doing. And this is, I guess, what this podcast is all about. It's about creating my own markers of success. And what does that mean for me now? And what does it mean in the future? So if you're at this point where you want to move or you want to do something more, you want to start something, you want to stop something, really asking yourself to go into the specifics of what your markers of success will be a really, really valuable exercise. Not only will it give you great clarity and a sense of focus, a sense of self, of like why you're doing all of the things. I even had that with yoga this morning. Like I booked yoga. They've got a fantastic app and I can do it all, like plan all my sessions, when I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. And this morning I woke up and I was like, oh no, I feel really tired. I don't want to go today. Oh no, I probably don't need it. Oh, la, 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 all this stuff. But because I'd booked it, because I was committed, my marker of success is in a way to go when I don't feel like it. I'm looking as my marker of success for consistency. And if I just went when I felt like it, I might be like, yeah, I've done 3 days in a row and then I didn't go for a month and then I forgot about it. And then, I've been once, but I only did half, all of that stuff. Knowing what your markers of success will be will really keep you on track. And this is also the thing. Your markers of success don't have to be the 5 or 10 year or the lifetime plan of like, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. If you need to break down it into days or a week or a month or a quarter, however you like to do it, then do that. Because creating your markers of success and feeling yourself making progress will invariably make you want to do more things and keep moving forward. So going back to my coaching qualification, I knew that if I was going to be immersed in it and I was going to do it and crack on and also find a way to work at the same time and do all the other things that I was doing, I really had to create my own markers of success. So the first thing that I did was I put all of the in-person stuff in. And I mapped it out in my diary and I did it for the next year. It's really great because they had all the dates of their in-person work on their website and I could just book everything in advance. I booked the train tickets. I just got it all out the way. And that was game changing because it took all the decision making out of it. Like I literally spent one Saturday afternoon going, right, how can I make sure that I do all elements of this course? And it really, really worked for me because then I could work towards those deadlines. Now, this wasn't the case on this situation. I was lucky that kind of things stayed as they did. But if you need to change things, then fine, you can tweak these deadlines. You can be the master or the mistress of your own situation. But if everything feels really random and everything just feels like I don't know, I'll see how I feel, it's just giving yourself much more work to do. So if you're able to, if this feels like a good fit for yourself, if you want to explore something deeper, start to schedule, start to add some bits in of like, do you know what? On Thursday morning from 9 till 10, I'm going to spend some time doing that. I am going to work on that thing. And there's certainly things that I want to do this year that I haven't done yet. And it's April, and of course I could be panicked and be like, oh gosh, this year's going so fast, and how la 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 la. That's not helpful. So instead, what am I going to do? I'm going to slow down and ask myself, have I actually dedicated some time to this? If the answer is no, then I need to do something about it. That's all there is to it. The next thing is, if your markers of success feel really overwhelming, write a massive, massive list to the point where you cannot write anything else on this list because it's so massive. And that's what I did, especially once I'd qualified, is I wrote down all of the things that I needed to do. So, for example, I started with my website. I wrote down all the different pages. I wrote down all the different subheadings, the copy that I would need to find, the photo that I would need. I drew it, I wrote it, I coloured it in, I made it really, really visual. And then I just started to chip away at it really, really slowly, and I felt each task break down. And of course, and this is what's happened with this house as well. Like, I feel like I ticked loads of things off, like, oh, bought that, done that, that's sorted. And then I'm like, oh, I've got to add that to the list. That's broken. It's like a never ending thing. But do you know what? That is life, and that is fine. But working from a database, a hub, a central point where you know what you're doing, you know what needs to be done, it will really help you to be more efficient with your time, because not only will you know what's working and where you're spending your time, you'll also stop wasting time. Because there's nothing worse than going, right, I've got loads of work time available today, and you sit down and you go, don't really know what to do today. Or just go on the internet for a bit, and then it all just becomes a bit fuzzy. I am so guilty of that. So I have to know what I'm doing and why and when. One other thing that I want to talk about as well is this sense of doing things imperfectly, of giving myself that grace that I have to, or it's going to be better for me if I start with something and then change it and then tweak it and then edit it. So, for example, I started when I redid all my website. I can't even remember how long ago it was, maybe 2 years ago. I've no idea. I'm really struggling with months and years. But whenever I recently did it, I got to a point where I really had to start very slowly with it again. So I felt like I was building it. I felt like I went to, when you see a building site and you're like, wow, they've only just got walls in and they've kind of got a bit of a floor. Okay, great. It still doesn't look like a house though. I had to go back to that point and rebuild it from there, rather than going, there's nothing to see. There's absolutely nothing to see, and you'll just have to use your imagination. It's much easier to build. And of course, I still had new clients coming in at that time because they could see what I was doing. They were in that process, and there was something tangible in that. So even if you are doing things imperfectly, as in, like, I've started this thing, I'm really enjoying it, not quite sure what it's going to lead to yet, but be in conversation with people. Understand what people say around this topic. That's about doing things perfectly, rather than going, right, I've got my website and I've got my business card and now I will go out and tell people. You can be in conversation already. That is okay too. Another thing, I felt that I had to do everything immediately. And this is the story of my life, for goodness sake. I want to do all the things. I want to do them all, and I want to do them the best, and I want to do them immediately. And I don't have capacity to do that. I am one person. And so learning patience over the years has been one of my biggest lessons ever, I would say. And here's what I also want to say is when you hear things on the internet about how people suddenly just did something in 24 hours, or it was a real time of people talking about their £5 million launch and they only set up their business last week. Like, it was all that facts, figures, clickbaity stuff. And I was just thinking, like, what? How did you do that? Like, I haven't got any clients yet. I don't understand. And it's only when you strip that back that often that headline or that caption has maybe been tweaked or angled slightly to be able to make it come true. So they might have been, I don't know, a PR expert for 20 years, and they've brought all that experience and network and client list to the table, but they just changed the name of the company that, like, the last week, and then suddenly they're talking about that process. So I think you have to be very in your body, in the moment, and within your markers of your own success, rather than being distracted or misdirected from the circus of the internet. So my question to you today is, what is your next markers of success? What does that look like? And I'll just share a couple just to, I don't know, food for thought, I guess. So in terms of my markers for success, I do want to be ambitious. Like, ambition is very, very important to me. And maybe this is growing up in a small village and always feeling like life is happening out there. I want to get there. I want to be in that. And that's never really left me. Like, I always feel like I really want to challenge myself, because I'm now at this point of like being 40 and going, why not? Have a go, see what happens. But secondly, I want to be able to make money as well. And I want to make good money. And I want to be able to travel. One of the things that is coming up for me a lot is I want to take my children to places. And it's not just like, you know, take them to Disneyland or take them to, I don't know, I guess I'm talking about like game show holidays here, you know, like win a family trip to Disneyland, go to Lapland for all the family, or go on safari. Like, those big jazzy holidays would be nice as well. But I'd also like to take my kids to Brighton for the weekend and not think about it. Or my mum is Welsh and I grew up, well, I say I grew up, but I spent so much time as a child. I did a lot of growing up there. And I want to take my children there. So there's all those sorts of things as well. But a third one, or a fourth one, I guess, is a markers of success for me. And each holiday that's gone by, I noticed it at Christmas, I noticed it at February half term, and I'm now trialing it even more in Easter, of how little can I work in the school Easter holidays, in the school nursery holidays, however they pop up. How can I be even more present with my children? And it's not a done deal. It's not a done deal at the moment where I'm, especially because we just moved house and all the rest of it. And, you know, we've had loads and loads of bills to pay, as lots of people have. But, you know, there's always hidden costs, of course, when you move house, or there's extra things to buy and sort, etc. But it's been a really interesting process because it's getting closer. It's getting closer. That dream that I have for myself of the summer of 2024, yes, I am that far ahead. I want, at the end of Luna's first year of reception, I want to take the whole summer holidays off. I want to go away places. I want to do things. And I don't want to, I don't want to be that parent, which I know I have been in the past, of saying, in a minute, just one sec, or yeah, no problem, I'll put the telly on. I just want to enjoy my family. And I'm saying this with caution, because I know that seems that sounds quite an audacious thing to say. And it's, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for listening, as always. If you want to book a session, if you're like, I need some support, I need to actually figure out what the heck I am doing and working out what my measures of success are, then give me a call. Don't actually, because I won't pick up my phone. I actually hate speaking on the phone. Email me, hello@nikkiraver.com, and let's have a chat. Let's see where you're up to, and I'll speak to you very soon. In fact, I'll see you tomorrow. So thanks so much for listening. Do rate, review, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll catch you then. Lots of love. Bye.